Very much so. Okay, then.
Hour? Bit over hour?
We live, bro? We live? No? Oh, we are. Okay.
No more hard on my phone note. Hey, for the counselling session. This week's Monday night counselling.
Right.
Dealt with a K. Nah, in all seriousness, welcome back, guys. Really appreciate you guys being here. If you guys are here for the first time, hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get into it. Let's just rip it off. Let's rip it off, eh? 11 tries to 1.
Legs 11, bro. Legs 11.
Let's let that sink in. 11 tries to 1, 66 to 6. An appalling, embarrassing display on the evening, last on the weekend with 44,000. No, not 44,000 would have showed up, but maybe, I don't know what the numbers were. Let's just say it was like 10,000.
They said 22,000.
Oh, 22 in the end.
22,000 is the capacity of the stadium.
702.
But how many of those are Warriors supporters? At least half, right?
They reckon it was 70%. Yeah. So it was like, holy. So the whānau turned up.
Yeah, the Warriors didn't they?
Yeah. I was gonna say too, bro. We were one try and one disallowed try, but I don't think even their first try would have made a hell of a difference. Their call on Jacko was just like, holy. But yeah. Whoa. A lot of pain for that game. Damien and I cruised around to Damien's to watch it, and both of us were just dumbfounded.
At least you two had each other.
Emotional support over
it.
Well, one way I group chat was, I was like, "Where's these two fellas?" I was like, "Far out, man."
We were stunned, eh? Nothing
we
to
were
say.
commiserating.
Do you know, straight up, 60 minutes into it, all emotions had fallen away. I was just sitting there looking at the screen in utter disbelief, just like, I was like, what the hell is going on?
I think I had that feeling just before halftime.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
That's just I had that feeling.
My son rang me, I think, maybe it was at the 60th minute. My youngest son rang me, video called me, and I answered the phone. He's sitting there like this. For the first, he didn't say a word for probably for the first 30 seconds, and then he goes, "Mum, I'm just ringing to see if you're okay."
That's a good son right there.
Yeah. My other son rang me too, and he was like, "Mum," and but my other son, he stood up and he chucked on his Chiefs jumper, and he's like, "Right." He was like, no, so he must have had a hard night too, apparently. So
we're good. All right.
But yeah, sad state of affairs, guys.
Where do we start? Where do we start with this one? Because I've been trying to figure out since the full-time whistle went. Where does it start? Where does it start? Where do we start from dissecting this? Do we start off with some positives?
Well, I kind of broke it down. Yeah, I broke it down analytically, just going through each 20-minute segment. But it was just like, we gave away 3 penalties in the first 5 minutes, and I was just like, what the fuck? These been games where the games have kind of flowed all season, and penalties have come in kind of latish. But it was just like, wow, holding down a strip and an offside, all in the first 5, and it was just like, oh man, that's not a good sign. But still thinking, we'll settle in. Admittedly, the Titans took 16 minutes to score, but then the floodgates opened, and then it was just like, God damn.
I will say that, since they were targeting our right edge where Corsi was, I thought it was going to be bombs away there all day. But they had other ideas. Now they can score down that side. They can score through the middle. They can score through the kick in behind. They're not always going to go after Corsi, which I thought maybe they would.
Kieran Foran was outstanding, bro. And
he was.
Kōrero was like he was finding his feet in the first half, and then he just kicked off. And man, the amount of tries he set up was just like, and I got love for the fella because he's a Kiwi and he rips hard. But yeah, he just ex-warrior carved us up.
I thought Jaden Campbell in the halves was also. I actually thought prior to kickoff, I was like, oh, we're going to target Jaden Campbell, obviously, because that's not his preferred position. He's usually a fullback. So I was like, they'll target him and put pressure on him being fresh. I think that's probably only his, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows it, I think that's his third game in the halves, fifth at the most, maybe. So I assumed...
I'd say he could play. I'd say he's one of those players that could play anywhere in the spine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was awesome, man. Far out. They were all... We made them look like a top four side.
That's what makes it worse. They were last. They jumped up 2 spots. They've had 4 wins and 2 of those against us.
Yeah. I want to say this real nice and early, eh? We've already got a bogey team in the Storm. I don't want another one.
Yeah.
Because if this team is the team that comes to Anzac every year, I don't know how our boys are going to get over the hiding we got on the weekend and also the loss that we had on Anzac Day. Yeah.
To be fair, bro, the Titans have had the wood on us probably in the last 5 years, where they've come up trumps and we just haven't shown up. So they have kind of been that team that's just kind of like stuck it to us when we should have actually beaten them.
Not like this. Not like this.
Yeah, but the commentators were saying we've lost 5 of the last 6 games against them playing there, kind of thing. So I was just like, okay, but it all just stacked up and again, interesting. The commentators were talking about. Because at times this season where the Titans had been 24 up and lost. And the team actually, they looked quite composed. It didn't look like they were getting ahead of themselves. They were just getting on with it. And I was just like, fuck.
They didn't care who we were.
Yeah, but it had to be us, bro.
Didn't care who was coming back from injury. Didn't care who was on that field. How many times you've been playing. How many mean highlight reels you got on YouTube? They just didn't care about any of that stuff. Tonight we're going to do something that we haven't done for a while, Whānau. We're actually going to go through section by section. Someone's going to have the spine, someone's going to have the outside backs, that's me, someone's going to have the forwards, and someone's going to be a DJ commentator. Oh, who's going to do the bench?
Me.
Interchange.
Times.
Me.
Yeah.
I got the easy job. You fellas, that's man. Oh, I feel for you guys.
Sorry, who's got what section?
I got forwards.
Outside backs.
And I got the spine.
Backs.
I'm gonna go first, guys. All right.
Kick it off, bro.
I'm gonna kick it off. Bum, 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 bum. So obviously DWZ goes and gets himself suspended. So in steps Edward Corsi, who kind of looks like an edge back rower or could even play prop. Apparently, and I've only heard this in the comments because I haven't been watching a lot of cup games, but he hasn't actually had a good season. Apparently, so I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. Someone let us know in the comments. But anyway, let's kick it off. So I went back and I watched the game. And I'm going to be honest with you, I only watched the first. I could only handle 30 minutes because after that, I know kind of what happened, right? The wheels completely fell off, and then all I'm doing is watching a highlights reel of the Titans.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty much all I'm doing, and I'm watching them just. It kind of got to the point where they're just toying with us, like we're like an under 21s team.
Yeah, very hard.
And. Yeah, if the shoe was on the other foot, then I'd be like, we're just toying with them. So they just started kicking it in behind. And Kōrero, how many did it score? 3? 4? Far out. I didn't even
Four.
count.
Yeah,
4.
there you go, 4, bro.
4 tries. Anyway, so left edge, first try goes out to Sean, goes and tackles Fafita without the ball. There was a skip pass. I think hooker straight to Jaden Campbell.
Yeah.
And
Campbell skipped it.
Yeah, and then Campbell skipped it over to Kōrero. That was his first try. Yeah, commentators were saying that Horsey was isolated, but could Sean have like not gone for Fafita, who's like this massive body? Could Ford had swept over a little bit to give Sean? It was just a very easy skip pass over to thing, and Horsey couldn't really do much, right? So yeah, right. First try goes in. That's okay. It's just a try. It took them bloody ages to score a try.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
The only positive, I suppose, is that it took them ages to score one try. So not really putting too much on the bro. Edward Horsey there. Second try, I think online has gone crazy with whole Pompey and everything. No arms in just a bit of a shoulder tap for that second try that came through. But if you actually look at the plays running up to that, and I'm not defending the bro at all for not even trying to tackle, but if you have a look at our attitude on the sets going up to where they were on the field, there was a lot of question marks anyway.
Agree.
With like a lot of players that were like, man, our tackling, and you guys can get into the forwards in the middle and everything like that. I was just like, yep, he didn't use his hands. Well, how the hell did they get in that position anyway? Yeah. All right. Yep. So, okay, 2 tries down.
I was going to say too, bro, there was only 3.5 minutes between the first and the second try. It was fast, man. The turnaround was fast. It was just like, what the? Yeah, but still not panicking, thinking, they're only 2 tries up.
Still in this.
We're still in this.
We're in this. Then we've got, so I'm only really looking at kind of like outside back stuff. Then RTS goes and does a dangerous tackle. Yep. Dangerous tackle. I don't know if it was a dangerous tackle, but it was.
He was low as, bro. The fella he tackled was all, like his back must have been maybe inches from the ground.
No, on
the thing was his legs were up, so
Jaden Campbell.
Yeah.
So
it was like, fuck.
They're throwing their arms up about that anyway on I think it's the footy show, is it? I don't know, but they're throwing their arms up saying it was a bullshit sin bin. It might have been penalty worthy just because of all that, but definitely not a sin bin offence anyway. Definitely not.
I agree.
But like when you go to popular players, sorry, I'm just cutting in here, but I think players now they purposely tip their body or lift their legs into that upright position to get that penalty as well. I don't know why I just sort of but anyway, sorry, Nick.
Yeah, no, all good. And then the very next play, I think Kenny gets on the outside. Kenny gets on the outside of Pompey and just Pompey didn't even get a finger on him. Scores another try, but then again, we've only got 12 men on the field, so what's Pompey going to do against a blistering quick fullback like that? Honestly, final after that just goes downhill. So I'm just going to throw some stats at everyone because after that, I think we all know what the story was. So the back 4, we got Corsi, RTS, Pompey, and Montoya. All run meters, Corsi with 111.
Wow.
Montoya 93. RTS 86 and Pompey 47. Kick return meters for our wingers, Corsi 21, Montoya 19.
Oh, God.
Post contacts, Corsi 44, RTS 25, Pompey 9, and Montoya 25. At the moment, Corsi's winning all these stats. He's winning all these stats. And it's real funny because upon reflection, I was like, he had an all right game. I've just finished watching the game all the way back from start to finish, and I've had a look at the stats and gone, actually, who was the best out of the back 4, Corsi? Tackle breaks, Corsi 7, RTS 2, Montoya 1. Kick defusals, Corsi 2, Montoya 2. Tackle efficiency, Corsi 100%.
Wow.
RTS 70, Pompey 69, and Montoya 100%, although Montoya only made 2 tackles. Corsi 6. Corsi 6, RTS attempted 14 but missed 4, and Pompey attempted 9 and missed 4 as well.
Who had the most misses, bro?
Out of
RTS.
everyone on the team?
No, RTS.
Well, we'll get there too.
RTS and Pompey 4 tackles each.
Wow.
Like those stats for Corsi are pretty bad for our wingers. It's the best out of all of them. So if I was to give like a chocolate fish to someone, it'll be for Corsi, but he probably wouldn't want it anyway because out of all those stats are pretty bad anyway. But anyway, that's me wrapping up the outside backs. No one's getting any golds or silvers or bronze for this whole thing. I don't think anyone even deserves it. But just to give you guys a bit of a different perspective, because yes, highlight reels are showing one thing, but there are 1 or 2 nuggets in there. That's me.
Nice, bro. Nice, bro.
Sure, bro. They must have been hard.
Yeah, I reckon.
I don't think it's going to be as hard as as forwards.
I reckon. Right.
Sweet. I don't mind going next.
Sweet, bro.
Give it to us, bro. Give it to us.
So, you may notice I'm a little bit more chill because I've had opportunities to vent this at different spaces. So, so I feel like I've had time to digest everything. But I guess looking at our spine stats, brought back memories. So yeah, I got the spine this time, and I'll run through some of the stats because, to be honest, I've watched the highlights of the review. If you want to check that on Warriors Fan TV, I couldn't stomach watching the whole thing again. So kind of going off what I remember and looking at the stats. But if we start with CNK, I had 19 runs, 148 meters, 35 kick return meters, 2 tackle breaks, 2 hut ups, 55% tackle efficiency, which is interesting. 6 tackles, 4 missed tackles, and 2 kick defusals. Now, a lot of that probably just sounds like numbers, but I think what's probably interesting is the tackle efficiency. Now, he is fullback, so when you're getting 11 tries on you, you're probably going to miss a lot of them, especially if you're fullback. So, kind of makes sense to the score, and I don't kind of blame him fully because he's the last man of defense. But in saying that, I think there was a few times he was out of position, and one of them I want to say he was fully out of position, but you review the kick that Forum put in and Campbell got. As a fullback, he could have been a bit more closer to that ball. Maybe he was hoping that Edwards Walker would jump up and hit it or something, but there was just a few times he was probably out of position. But again, you can't do much when you've got the whole line missing and you're having to cover everyone. So for CNK, I don't think, obviously he didn't have a good game. I don't think anyone had a good game. But I gave him, in terms of a scoring, gave him a 4. If you actually go look at some of his running meters, it is one of his lowest. But when you kind of really consider what happened, he had a bad game to his kind of standards. But I still think he did something in comparison to others. So I gave him a 4. We'll move on to Te Maire Martin. Had 72 meters running. What I want to point out is the receipts, because I think one of the most interesting things has been who gets the ball more. And I found out that's what receipts are. So how many touches you get on the ball. I was like, is that what it means? So doesn't necessarily mean straight off.
Sorry, bro. Is it when you're receiving it or you're passing it?
No, so whenever you touch the ball. So yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean you get it straight from Egan, but anytime you touch the ball, that's what a receipt is. So he had 38 touches, 21 tackles, 1 missed tackle, 95% tackle efficiency, which is good, and 98 kick meters. Now, the reason why I want to talk about the receipts, because he had 38, and we'll talk about Johnson soon, but Johnson had 52. And we're starting to see it maybe creeping back to, Johnson actually having a bit more of the ball than Te Maire Martin. And, obviously, I think the big thing that the Warriors need to focus on is defense. And for me, that's all attitude. But attack, we only scored 6 points. So, it shows who's getting the ball potentially and what are we doing with it. But in terms of Te Maire Martin, out of the lot, I actually think he had the better game. Don't think he had a great game, but I gave him a 5, which I think is kind of high. But I don't, when you look at 95% tackle efficiency, given that they ran through us, 21 tackles. You know, that's decent for a half. And he didn't really touch the ball much, considering that he's one of the halves as well. So I gave him a 5.
I think one of his tackles was a try saver too. But yeah, that's a good tackle efficiency rate. That's pretty up there, bro.
It's solid.
Especially solid.
Especially for, you know, the whole game, 51 missed tackles, but knowing that he cracked 95%, that's a really good sign, because of, you know, shit's breaking down. But anyway, shot to my main boat.
I agree. And the only probably one thing was that looking like a hip drop. So, you know, hopefully he gets cleared for that, so he can play this week. So that's the only thing on him. So we'll move on to SJ. You know, I don't want to be on the train that's gonna, you know, obliterate his performance. I think you just look over social media and everyone's calling him out. And one thing I want to say is that, you know, a lot of people are picking on the person instead of the performance. Like, let's just concentrate on the performance. As a person, you know, he's still a human. He's still a human being. But that's what we should be rating is the performance, and it wasn't great on the weekend. So if we look at the stats, 57 meters, 52 receipts, as said before, 13 tackles, 6 missed tackles, 65% tackle efficiency, and 279 kick meters, which is his actual lowest the whole season. So, you know, for anyone that watched it, we knew that wasn't Sean Johnson we're kind of primed to see. A lot of his stats show that he wasn't in the game. For me personally, just watching the game, I thought he kind of resulted back to this kind of passing Johnson. And not to say he needs to run every single set, but sometimes he doesn't straighten. And I think that just makes the whole defense kind of just move across. And it showed, you know, with the intercept, they were just moving across, and Kōrero picked the spot and took that intercept. So I think I think for him, it looks like there's a lot of things they need to work on, but I think it's maybe it's the injury. I don't know. There just seems to be something that's kind of that he's going through, that just the performance is not showing up to. But 65% tackle efficiency, 6 mixed tackle, you know, that kind of says a lot to me. And when I'm watching it, I feel like he misses the upfront stuff. So yeah, I again, I don't want to pick on him too much, but the performance wasn't great, and I gave him a 2 based on that performance in the weekend.
He had a lot of traffic running it, and he had Fafita running at him most of the night, you know, and it was just like, oh, far out, bro. Tackling that guy. But yeah.
Is that just what every team's going to do now?
Potentially, bro.
Potentially, yeah.
Until he sorts it out.
You know, Storm didn't do it because, you know, he had flipping, did he have Barney on that side? I don't know, but like, yeah, anyway. Sorry, bro. Just
agree. I think teams might target him. Yeah, and I don't know, man. Suppose he's got an injury, so we'll see if he's actually on the team card tomorrow. But yeah, I think this is coaching. You know, see what you guys do this week to hopefully rev him up if he's playing, or who you pick if you don't think he's performing well. So that was SJ, and then Egan. Stats I have is 38 tackles, 5 missed tackles, 47 meters, but he's got 86% tackle efficiency. From my personal opinion, I don't really see Egan much. I kind of felt like, where was he? He did come off a little bit for CHT, which probably gave him a little bit of break, but unfortunately CHT didn't do too much. He was missing a couple of tackles in the middle, it felt like, as well. So for me, Egan didn't really have a great game, and I think with someone like him and his caliber, you want him to put, especially if your halves are not, you know, able to do stuff, you know, he can get us out of trouble. One thing I kind of, and this is not just this week, but just his general play, we don't ever see him kick. Like, I feel like that's one of the struggles we have as Warriors, is that we don't have a hooker that can kick. So
bro.
You know, if our halves are struggling,
put a little grubber behind, you know, just kind of keep
grubber, or even turn it around. If you notice that we're not even getting out of our half, you can go for that 40-20 or just get it down into that corner. Like, you just don't have that opportunity with us. And not to say, just feel like there's limits to our Warriors game plan sometimes, and it shows he didn't have any kick meters.
I was gonna say too, bro. Just I think it was the Titans' third try when they cut back and Jazz, the guy running the ball bounced off of Jazz. Wade was actually on his inside, but instead of Wade went around his marker as opposed to just like he went around the back of him, and that's what created the gap. When I watched it on review, because I was like, "Fuck, who's covering Jazz?" And it was Wade, and it was just like, yeah, watching it was like he just didn't think about the because there was only half a gap, but it was big enough for this guy to once he beat Jazz, there was daylight, and then they scored. But it was like on review, Wade, he just didn't read it. He didn't read it right, and we paid. So don't know. It was almost like a couple of the boys had just kind of just clocked off at real important times. But yeah, just there, bro.
Yeah, man, and I think for the games that not just all the games that we've won, but all the games where we've looked quite good in our attacking shape and all that, is because Egan's looked great. And, it just shows when he scores 6 points. Obviously, for me, the focus should be on defense, but when we don't see him doing anything around that ruck, I think we seem to struggle as well with our attacking shape. So, I gave him a 3. So CNK 4, Timothy Martin 5, Sean Johnson a 2, and Egan a 3. That's me for the spine.
That's fair enough, bro.
Thank you.
That's fair enough.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Good points there. Yep.
Nice.
Oh.
Who's next?
I'll go, but mine's really short, and I didn't rewatch the game because I just refused to do it for myself. Because mental health first and foremost, guys.
Yeah. Mental health week.
Yeah.
I just went on. I actually cheated. I just went on to the NRL website and just quickly grabbed some stats off there. But so Jake Laban, he played 25 minutes, 3 tackle breaks.
Damn.
8 post-contact meters. I think he got, surely that's not right, a total of 36 running meters. 10 tackles, 1 miss. Well, it was only 1, at least he made 10. I actually thought Jazzy was all right. A lot of people are dogging Jazzy out, but, Jazz has his really up and down games, but one thing I'll give him in this game, at least when he had the ball in his hand, he was trying to run with some sort of purpose. When
we play like that, certain players are just going to get targeted.
Yeah, at least, that's what I saw anyway. I was just like, at least the guy's, trying to push up. But yeah,
I forgot Laban was even on the field.
Bro, I didn't even, you know what?
I'm not disrespecting the bro. I'm not disrespecting the bro, but when you're a stunned mullet watching this hiding, I didn't even realize he was on the field. Damn.
No, that's right, bro. I just was totally shocked by it all. I didn't even know when people went on, when people came off. I was just looking like, all common sense. I was just like, I have no fucking, and that's what it looked like on the field. I'm just going to detour it back.
Lost.
The video that you put up, Ty, when Bo Fermor went through? That play that you did on the try that Bo Fermor scored?
Oh, yep. Yeah.
Okay, so you see Pompey, that was on so you see Pompey, but there's how many players? I'm sure you had Pompey, Montoya, you had Walker, was it? Tohu, there was he didn't even need to go around them to score the try. There was six Warriors players right there.
Yep.
And it wasn't even hard. No one that was what the fudge? I think that might have been the one where Pompey threw the arm up. I'm not too sure, but I just remember that Ty seeing the video and thinking, man, what were they doing? And then he runs through and they're all standing there just looking back, looking at him run through, oh yeah, later bolt. I was like, what the hell? There were no effort areas. So Jazzy, he played 30 minutes, 2 tackle breaks, 42 post contact, 129 running meters, 15 tackles and 4 misses. But mate, that's him coming off the bench, and he made 129 running meters.
Yeah, at least he's trying, eh?
Damn.
Off the bench. Exactly. I don't know what the rest of the forwards run, but we'll know when you do your. But yeah, 129, and that's off the bench. So I tip my hat to you, Jazzy. At least you keep it real and fucking, just put your heart in it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find Ali for some reason on the Warriors, on the NRL Warriors team list. I couldn't find him on there. So sorry, unlucky us. CHC 35 minutes, 11 post contact, 17 tackles, 3 missed tackles, and 62 running meters, mate.
How long was he on for?
35.
You know, okay.
He's probably on as the longest out of everybody in that.
Who did he sub on for? Did he come on for Egan?
I think he played hooker at the end, but no, I think he came on for someone else earlier. I don't know who.
Walker?
Did
he come on for Walker?
Might have been.
Oh, look.
Walker played the Hawaii. I'm wondering if it was Tohu Harris.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go.
I was going to say that makes sense because I think the try you're talking about, Earl, when you said Wade with the other way, I think CHT was on the other side too. So that he would have came in for 13. So that makes sense. Yeah, it would have been for Tohu.
Yeah, sorry, guys. My stats are pretty shitty, but I think my player that deserves a mention would be Jazz. Like I said, you go online and on the social media platforms, everyone's dogging out someone, whether it be SJ, whether it be, this is not just one player's fault here. And I think when you're scoring 66, when a team's putting 66 points on you, you cannot blame one player for how the game played out. This is totally a team effort.
Pick up.
And
you can't even blame the ref or the officials.
Even that sending off, or even that try that was disallowed, or even the head high on Montoya. That's not going to change anything.
And also in that video, Ty, I was like, "What the hell? Look at the defensive line. They're not even moving up. It's like they weren't even moving up. They were pushing up.
No one was coming up.
They were like in clumps, like lots of. Do you know what I mean? Like they weren't this direct line. It was just like clumps of couple of them here, couple of people here, couple of people there. I was just like, hey, like what?
It's like they all went out. They went out on the piss the night before or something, because that's
might have enjoyed the Gold Coast a bit too much.
No, I feel like they needed to go out on the piss.
Maybe.
They fuck up. I hope they had a beer on the plane, but I feel for them because I said that. I mean, I shared those photos. Like what's his name? Old Benjamin Button, Buzz Rothfield, but Buzz. That's who he reminds me of. He reminds me of Benjamin Button. Saying, I think I posted that in our group chat. It was just because I thought he said Sean Johnson run 2 running meters. I was like, what the hell? 51, Then we've got the Titans. There was a newspaper in the Gold Coast, and the headlines were like, "Wah wah wah." I was like,
"Oh, fair enough."
Fair enough.
What I
mean is that you're not copying. Not only are you copying it from 30,000 Warriors fans, you're also copying it from rival fans who are just having the fucking time of their lives and a good laugh. You got all the sports media, all the sports journos getting in there as well. So I just felt I had to shed some love on it because I just felt so bad for them. And just as fans, it's amazing, like when you're on all social media platforms, how emotionally invested we are as fans in these games. And it's huge. Like, I was just like, wow, like, just, how a lot of how we just, sorry guys, I'm rambling, but how emotionally involved we are when it comes to our
and like I hear what you're saying, Tons. I guess for me, that sort of stuff, that sort of banter or they want to kick us when we're down and shit. It's like, who cares? They're gonna do it regardless. They're gonna stick it to us. They're Aussies. That's their nature. They just love kicking a team when it's down. And it's just they but they do that all the time, and it's just like, who cares? Their opinions don't actually mean anything anyway. It's like they can say what they want.
They're also really good at putting players on pedestals, or the total opposite. Like they're really good at putting, like, putting players up there like the fucking other, that they're God Almighty, and then when they don't perform well, they just chop them right off at the knees, the next day. So, I just don't think that game was any one man's fault, and it's kind of sad to see all the hate that SJ's getting. But guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but is it the halves' job to steer the ship and set up the game plan? Like, is it their job to direct the team, to set up to direct the traffic? Really, is it? Well, and when it comes to attack, and that's what I'm talking about, attack here.
Yeah.
Is it their job to direct that play and put that ball in motion where it needs to go? Well, on the back of the dummy half, of course, if I'm making any sense.
A lot of ball sports, team ball sports will have someone like a halfback or a quarterback, or in rugby it's a fly half. Football will be midfield, right? That links the things together.
The link.
And the more brains you got up there, and the better you're at doing that sort of stuff, then you're like,
Not that I should be worrying about attack, because Ty's bang on. I mean, mate, defense wins games, and you can't. It's no point having a great attacking plan when you can't defend shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
But anyway, Damien, I'm interested to hear your forward stats and see how many meters they ran actually.
So I just want to butt in there and say quickly around Jazz Tavanga, and I agree. I think he's been getting a lot of flack, and from my watching it, I was like, all I was seeing is missed tackles. But you brought up his running meters, Tans, and I didn't even realize that he had 13 runs. So 13 runs, 129 meters. He's almost averaging 10 meters. That's really impressive for a forward to be averaging. None of our forwards average close to 10 meters. He's averaging 10 from the bench. So, you kind of have to give him credit where credit's due. And
bro.
He actually did well in attack.
Definitely.
Yeah, I thought so. I just thought he's, and with Jazzy, people bag him out, but man, you can't take the fact away that he's got the heart of a lion, man, that fella. Like he'll go toe to toe with anyone to back up his teammates, and without a doubt, he will. That's just the type of player that he looks like. But shout out to Jazz. As shit as that game was, at least he, and I think you can tell that from his running meters and from his carries that he tried to make every carry count, even though he might, with errors or missed tackles or whatever. So that's my shout out to Jazz.
I was going to say too, Tons, just in regards to your question about do they direct the traffic or the game or whatever, the play. Depends on whether or not the forwards have got are crossing the advantage line. So the good halves, when they're behind a good forward pack, because that's where the momentum is. Then they've got time and space to dictate and decide what decisions need to be made at certain times of the game. If we're down to their 20, if we're trying to get out of our red zone, whatever. But it starts in the engine room. So amongst the forwards, as long as those forwards are laying that platform, then guys like SJ, Tamaiti, then they've got the room to do what they need to do. But the weekend was a classic.
But if we're finishing our sets on the halfway line,
the
only thing doesn't matter how good you are as a halfback. The only option you really got is to kick the ball. So last year the engine room was getting us down into their red zones, and Sean was making some plays that were, all the
actually, and so was our back three. To be fair, our back three were making yardies as well. And again, Saturday night, the couple of things that stood out for me was like the gang tackling. And the Titans, the Storm the week before had laid the platform for like the blueprint, for just how to hold our forwards up, how to slow them down. And the Titans the gang tackling was killing us, man. And in all honesty, I really don't know how do you kind of beat when you've got three guys on top of you constantly. You know, they were having 2 or 3 tacklers almost on every tackle, and it was just we just weren't getting any momentum anyway.
Well, and you see, but you see that obviously there's no momentum because you see that in our running meters. You know, like they're virtually non-existent. So if you're not making run meters, there's no momentum, there's no movement, is there? There's no movement up the field.
Yeah.
But you know, even in regards to Isaac Liu, like, I mean, I don't rate. I used to rate. I used to think. Well, this is years ago. I used to think he was quite an underrated player, but I look at him now, and I'm just like, oh, mate, he was running over us. I was just like, the guy got a fucking 40 meter run upfield. I was like, oh, tell me this is not happening because.
I'll make it worse, Tans. I'll make it worse for you. It was 80 meters.
Oh.
He got the ball on the 20 and just took off, and it was just like, oh my god! But again, we were falling off tackles. So yeah. Yeah, awesome run if you're a Titans fan.
yeah. Especially if you're Isaac, who you know, who's just a bench warmer, and you know, sorry Isaac, but you know, it's but you know what? The sad thing is, guys, is that our enemy here is not just the rival teams, but time. We've only got how many games now left in the season?
Almost
9
200.
This is the point of the season where you step on the gas and you start smashing teams like 60 points to 6. This is the point of the season where you start doing that. You don't start falling off.
Yeah. Very true, bro. Very true.
How do you as a player, not even just a player, as a team, coaching staff, everyone, how do you mentally move on from that though? Because obviously they'll be at training today, so like Sunday off, you know, get home, they're back at training today. How do you like, how do you take yourself out of that equation and kind of move forward into the week and just get back into the cycle of training, running, weights, whatever, video prep, do all that? That's going to be really hard, and especially knowing that you're going up against a team like the Broncos.
Yep.
Who haven't been playing their best,
but... and not to mention, I don't know who's got the faster back line. Is it Broncos or Titans? I don't even want to, you know, the only thing, and you know, Dale, I've heard you say plenty of times, and you're dead right when you say, you know, if we're going to play a team, we want to play their best 17, right? I don't want to play their best 17. I hope Walsh and Mam, and I'm sorry, all you Queensland lovers out there, but I'm just like, mate, can use, I don't know, sprain an ankle, fucking break a finger. I don't want to, and it's so bad. I don't want to. Yeah, I mean, this is.
There are no easy games in the NRL, Tans.
No,
every game's going to be a hard one. Yeah.
But this is all mental, and you said it just before, Tide. This is attitude, man. Like, just in the way you do your hit, and I am scared that after this thrashing, and just the amount of hate they've gotten for it, and some of it, you know, is fair. Some of it's a bit over the top, but yeah. How do you come back from that mentally as an individual? Because you know, as an individual, do you think they sit down and? I hope they have really good support networks there. Like, do they have?
Yeah. Oh, no doubt they do.
They should.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be leaning on each other pretty heavily as well. They all fucked up. They're all on this together.
Yeah.
Well, it's quite interesting you say that, because before we started, I went over to Wise Up TV, and Ash, you know, said that, you know, he saw something when Ads just, you know, left the field, didn't really go in there and offer any solace to his teammates or even a handshake, didn't do that to the And that's bad sportsmanship, man. If you can't even, you just don't do that in any game. You don't, because it shows
and I mean,
weakness, one.
yeah,
It shows weakness, and it shows your lack of men. Men do not do that.
But I mean, who knows where his head's at, And I mean, yeah, it is a team sport, and they've all got to. Because I watched the presser, and even Uncle was talking about the whole. We're all in this together. The only way out is together. Aiden goes off and does what he does, and it's like, well, that's on him, kind of thing. But I guess, and to answer your question, it's the whole. They've got to be able to just think, what, fuck it, what's done is done. We still got, big game coming up, big couple of games coming up, and it's just about push reset, learn from that bullshit. Like, and I think I've said this before as well, but like for me, I'd just love to see the boys come out and just focus on their D. Have a staunch defensive game where they just shut the opposition out and fucking no one's getting through, kind of thing. Because it was, the defense is such a biggie in league, and it really does. Like from Saturday night, it really is the difference between winning and losing, but more so the space the boys were in, everyone's overcompensating, everyone's trying too hard, everyone's starting to overthink or not think enough, and it's just like, fuck. So yeah, it's very much a team. They all took the hit. Hopefully, wherever Aiden's at, he kind of can refocus for this week. I mean, who knows? Team list Tuesday could be a complete different shuffle. Might not. Might be a completely same lineup. I hope not.
He hasn't done it yet. He hasn't done it yet.
Yeah,
so can't see him doing it now.
Because when you think about it, 4 or 5 weeks ago, when those young fellas came through, those the New South Wales Cup boys came through and won those games that we were meant to lose, and then like 4 weeks later, we were pretty much full strength, had our top guns back, and it was like chalk and cheese. The difference between apples and oranges. Those two different performances we were pushing out 6 weeks ago to what we saw in the weekend. It's just like, wow, what's going on, man? So Teamless Tuesday tomorrow. This will be a huge test for him. Like I'm going to be honest, I never ever thought we'd lose the way we lost against the Storm 2 years ago, but it's happened. So it's like, okay, so how do we pick this up? How do the boys pick it up? How do we get on with it? Because even at the halftime in the changing sheds, our boys, it was interesting because you can see Webby walking around, and this is just my own take on it again, but it's like he just looked lost. He was kind of just the whole, and the boys are all in their little groups talking and whatever. The camera quickly switched to the Titans changing shed, and they were all just sitting in the group listening to this, and it was just like, wow, that was insightful seeing that. So big challenge, massive challenge for Uncle to even get the boys to come together and pull. I don't even care if we lose this weekend. I just want to see the boys fucking defend like their life depends on it. Put some pride back in their jersey.
I agree.
Take a bro.
I was just gonna slightly answer what you asked there, Tanya, around how do you adjust mentally given what's going on. And I think this is an answer that most Warriors fans want to hear, but it's like to realize the game is insignificant. Like there is someone in a whole other country that's like, what the fuck is league? And I think the reason why I say that is because sometimes you can put your whole identity and feelings into something that's happened in the past. So I think first it's insignificant. And the other side of it is that we still got 9 games to go, and we can still get to 33 points if we win all those games. So there's still, light at the end of this tunnel, fortunately for us at this point in time. But it's kind of like, I feel like it's developing what they call the goldfish mentality, and realize that, what's happened, and to kind of cut that all out. And I just want to touch on that as a game point. I think you talked about, Nick, that there was some body language changes, and I noticed that too, especially after that try when it went through Fermor went through on Pompey. It's like they looked at each other, and that for me is a sign of like they look like they're gonna fall over. And I kind of hoped it didn't happen, but it did. And I feel like for me, for me, it's like they didn't forget it. Like they should have just forgot it happened. Let's just carry on. And I feel like that's what I thought we would have developed more this year is a mentality of like when shit happens, we don't care. We're gonna still carry on with it. And I don't know how you kind of reinstall that into the boys without, you know, getting to the deep ends of like, why aren't we playing for each other, guys? Like, let's confront this. Why aren't we playing for each other? So let's hope they do that this week. Is my hope.
Before we get on to you, Damien, because I know you're still waiting there in the cut, bro. So when you said that, Tanya, about them all looking at each other, I can tell you who was looking at each other. Egan was looking at Tamare. Tamare's looking at Pompey. AFB's just looking at the sideline. Tohu's got his hands on his hips, facing the other side's try line, and CNK's on the ground. That's pretty much that group of players around them, and it was shocking to watch. So I'll do a print screen and I'll send it on our messenger. And that was just the second try. So something's going on.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think Egan had his hands up. He was the only one. So anyway. Yeah, so there's more to come, Whānau. So Damien, well, I think we're leaving the best for last, I reckon.
Nice.
Our resident straight shooter. Let's go, bro. Give it to us.
Sure, bro. So yeah, my stats mostly based on my ratings, I should say, mostly based on stats, but also a little bit of my own personal kind of feeling on how they did as well. So I'll just crack straight into it. So I'm starting with our number 8, our big bopper, Adam Whanua-Blake. Stat-wise, he played for 50 minutes, 8 runs, 70 meters, only 19 post-contact meters, 4 hit-ups, 34 tackles, including 1 ineffective tackle, which gave him a 97% tackle efficiency. He also had 1 handling error. So yeah, that's most of our grunt normally comes from him, and this game it just fucking wasn't. He was just not interested. The body language is a really massive one. I really noticed that. Very quiet game, not as usual standard at all, and just pretty thoroughly disappointed with Adam Whanua-Blake. I've given him probably a generous, but a 4 out of 10.
Nice, bro.
Sorry,
so,
did you say 8 runs, bro?
Yeah, 8 runs. It's kind of weird. I looked up on the NRL stats and it said 8 runs, but he only had 4 hit-ups. So how the fuck does that work?
Good question.
Anyhow. Yeah, as I say, normally he's the meter man, but fuck, not that game. Not that game at all. Moving on to our other prop, old Jackson Ford. He had 55 minutes played. He had a try disallowed, which is going to be a bit controversial, but I actually agree that it wasn't a try. I thought he had lost control when the ball grounded. He had 13 runs, 97 total run meters, 39 post-contact meters, 3 tackle breaks, 13 hit-ups, 39 tackles made, 3 missed tackles, 1 ineffective tackle, which gave him a 90% tackle efficiency. He had 2 errors and 1 penalty. I thought Jackson Ford tried hard, but he had some really costly errors that really fucking hurt us at pretty crucial moments. So I've given Jackson Ford 6 out of 10.
Sure.
Moving on to the second row, I'll start with Marata Nikore. He played for 55 minutes, 77 total run meters, 26 post-contact meters, 1 tackle break, 10 hit-ups, 1 offload, 22 tackles, 1 missed tackle. So his tackle efficiency was at 96%. He had 1 handling error, and he was put on report for a careless high tackle. Luckily, he's only going to get fined some coins, so he's not going to miss any game time. I thought he ran aggressively, but he was very predictable in the lines that he ran. He's constantly on the inside of Sean Johnson, and the Titans saw it coming every single time and just shut it down. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty disappointing game from Marata. I've given Marata 5 out of 10.
Hey, can I just kind of jump in on that play, that inside cut run? Everyone can see it now.
Yeah, bro. So predictable.
It's the same old out the back pass to CNK, or it's our new thing that we're going to. Everyone can see it, and he's running hard, but
yeah, when you can see it coming, though, it's easy to shut it down.
It's not happening anymore.
Moving on to our other second rower, Dylan Walker. First time I remember him playing second row, actually. He played the whole 80 minutes. I thought he looked broken for most of them. He had 81 total run meters, 15 post-contact meters, 9 hit-ups, 27 tackles made, 3 missed tackles, 2 ineffective tackles. So he only had a 84% tackle efficiency. 1 handling error, 1 penalty, 1 ruck infringement. I just don't like him at second row, just based on that one game. I think he's looking like he's carrying a lot of multiple injuries. And if he's not 100%, the guy needs a rest. You know, he looks broken right now. I've given Dylan Walker 4 out of 10.
It seems every tackle, not every tackle, but it seems like he's slow to get up to play the ball. And I don't think he's just playing acting. He's actually hurt. I
think so. Give the guy a break. Anyhow, moving on to our lock, our captain, Tohu Harris. 56 minutes played. He was the only forward to crack 100 meters.
Damn.
He got 111 meters, which is fucking scary. 43 post-contact meters, 1 line break assist, 1 try assist, 9 hit-ups, 1 offload, 35 tackles, 4 missed tackles. So he's got a 90% tackle efficiency. Tohu Harris, to me, the guy's looking banged up. He's looking slow, he's looking old, and he's looking tired. I thought he'd been doing better coming off the bench. Overall, I've been pretty disappointed with Tohu Harris this season. I'm wondering if he's actually playing more minutes than what he should. I've given him, based on that game, a 6 out of 10. This averages out to a disappointing 5 out of 10 for overall. Pretty sad.
That's fair enough, right?
I'm quite surprised Jackson Ford only, I didn't even notice he only played, did you say 55 minutes?
55 minutes for Jackson Ford.
Fuck, that's out of it, considering he plays the full 80, so...
Yeah, he doesn't normally play full 80 if he's playing prop, though, eh?
Oh, right, yeah.
Different position, yeah.
I think putting Dylan Walker in that second row anyway, and me and you agreed with each other on this one, Damien. Pulling Dylan Walker in second row was just not the tahi, man. I was just, that was just, why? When I just have, I just thought, especially when you have, like, you had options. When I saw our team list last week, I was scratching my head. But when I saw our extended list, I got excited because I was like, surely you'll put Sifakula on the bench maybe and move Laban up to start, or he could have done so many things. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know fuck all about the game. I just watch it, but I just think he had a lot of options. Personally, that's what I think. But I mean, fuck, what do I know? I just think, I just think players could have been used better, in certain key positions. I'd love to see us get the most out of RTS. I mean, for God's sakes, he's there for a reason. They brought him back for a goddamn reason. And he got, what do people expect him to do when he's not getting any fucking decent ball? It's like, well, come on, man, either move him to the wing, maybe move him to the wing and hit, but they've got to unlock him somehow, because what a waste of having a player of his capabilities and his magnitude out on the field if you're not going to fucking do anything with him.
I think you'd be the first to put his hand up and saying that he's not really playing as good as what he'd be hoping as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
No, but actually his yeah, maybe, but I mean, you know, when it comes to meters and stuff, I mean, he can still clock up the meters. I mean, his stats aren't that different apparently from when he's at fullback to when he's on the wing. His stats aren't that different, but something's got to change somewhere. And all these players that we know are our strike weapons are just not getting the fucking ball at the right time. There's a breakdown somewhere, and it's huge. We can see it. I can see it on my TV. It's like it's the team self-imploding on itself somewhere.
I think some of that's like the opposition of they're just more switched on to us now, and they know what works to shut us down. But again, so how do you counter that? Because we definitely need to. I don't know how we. Yeah, and I mean you're right. He is a strike weapon. You know,
they brought him back for that reason, because he is, and I still think he's capable of doing the thing. You know, maybe not to the same acceleration, but I mean, it's just frustrating. How do we go from this team from last year that was like what, fourth best defense? You know, how do we go from that? Like, even, come on, guys, be honest. Even this year, we've been inconsistent. Even in games that we've won, even the game, you know, we've been in late. Sharks 12 up, Storm 14 up. You know, we've been inconsistent throughout the season. Even though we've won games, we're not playing like we did last season. Sorry.
Who is our defensive coach this year? I know last year it was fucking Justin Morgan, but who was it this year?
I have no idea.
I have a look.
Maybe the fucking Warriors don't even fucking know who it is.
Are we now blaming the defensive coach?
Well, it does make you wonder. Like, there was such a change.
Well, I think like Leo said, bro, we've just been sussed out. It doesn't take much to suss us out. Maybe last year it was just, it's just the Warriors, and we were very unpredictable. Now we're very predictable.
Very predictable. We're also going from being under the radar to now being hunted. But our defense has massively gone backwards this season. And I do wonder, is it to do with our new defensive coach?
Looking at the coaches, it doesn't have defensive, but it's got the assistant coaches are Richard Agar. Stacey.
He was there last year.
Yeah, Stacey and Slade Griffin.
Is it Slade Griffin, maybe?
Slade Griffin.
Yeah, potentially.
Coming back to what you're saying, though, Tans, your frustration with RTS. Okay, so let's have a look at how we use our centers. Even last year, how do we use our centers? Get us out of the red zone, mostly. To be a link play between that right hand move, the last ball play, the last ball player to give it off to DWZ, and kick chase. Outside of those three things that I've mentioned,
don't show other options, eh?
We haven't really done much else with our centers, unlike you look at the Storm, you look at the Roosters.
You
even look at the Cowboys and how they use Valentine Holmes.
Correct. Right. So it has a lot to do with how are we using those edge back rows and centers for the best of those abilities at the certain times in the field. If you'll see how RTS has scored his tries, it's been through broken play. Tomato Martin put it up. I think it was against the Cowboys. He ran through, bloody tipped it back again or something to Jackson Ford. He scored he scored a classic tackle breaks, like an RTS try against the Raiders.
Yep.
But that wasn't, I don't think that was even planned. It was just, let's just have a go. So I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is basically, but when we have a look at how we're using our centers, it's a very traditional way of using those centers, not from any other kind of X factor ways.
The only reason why I ask is because I saw a clip. I think it was Andrew Johns. I don't know. Was he a Blues? I think it was Andrew Johns, and how he was saying, especially for game 2 coming up now with Trell back in the mix, being on the centers, and how to best get, how to get the best out of Trell. And basically he just said, you got to get your halves to just pretty much feed that ball, feed that ball out to him and then let him do his thing.
Early ball.
Just get him that early ball, get it out there, get it out to your edges and just fucking let him go for gold. And I just think, and I've said this a few times, there's just, he needs to be unlocked. I mean, it's
he looks good. He looks good on kind of hit ups coming out of our red zones.
My concern is you chuck him on the wing there, he's going to get even less ball.
Exactly right.
Exactly.
Because our wingers aren't getting a lot of ball anyway.
No.
Oh, except Dallin. Dallin gets all the fucking. That's that's another problem. Like
he's not actually getting a lot.
That's what I think anyway. I think a team, like the sport needs to be played across the field, through the middle, on both edges, not just on one edge and fucking up one side and whatnot. I could be dead wrong. It's just like all I do is watch the game, but it's just.
And I think we still have to realize as well, it's his first season he's been playing in this role. So is this a play for next year? But at the same time, the guy's 30 and he's 31 next year. So he's not getting any faster. And I will say this.
Got him for 2 years, but I was going to say that. Do you think it was a bit presumptuous of the coaching staff to sign him? Put him through one preseason of training into a position that and it's not an easy position either.
No.
Were they expecting too much? Yep, come on, come back. We'll give you one preseason and you're straight back into first grade. Did they rush it?
I think they haven't given him a chance, and people can say he's played a few games here, but he's gone back to fullback, he's gone to wing, and then he's had his injuries. So I still think there's a bit more time to. The verdict's still out, in my personal opinion, but then we're 2/3 through the competition, right? And I don't know if we want to be playing guessing games this far into it. One thing I will say, because obviously, I think for me, I think it's the attack, obviously, because he does all those hit ups, he's getting a lot of meters. Like even the weekend, he only had 86 meters, but if you divide it by how many runs, he had 10.7. He had the highest running meters per run out of the team. So he's still making a lot of his attack. It's the defense, which I think he's still adjusting to, and that I think personally is because he hasn't had the time to actually apprentice it and actually get used to it. So, but can we afford the time now? That's the kind of tricky question we have as Warriors right now, and I don't know. I want to still see him there, but we want to also see centers there, And I think Moala Graham showed he can play there when he got the chance, even Ali. Right. So I want to see him there, but we need defensive centers, especially going into the deep end of the season.
Does he have it in him to carry on? He's not getting any faster as he's getting older either.
Do we think? So we know that SJ's pulled a hammy or he tweaked his hammy. We don't know how serious it is. We'll see tomorrow. Do you guys think we will see many changes, if any, tomorrow?
I'd expect fuck all.
Yeah, I highly doubt it. Just with what we've seen throughout the season.
Yeah. It might come down to the bench, maybe extended bench, but yeah.
Nothing like what Benji done on the weekend. Nothing like that. Or what Benji's been doing.
And how did that go?
Or what Sticky's been doing.
Yeah.
But nah, we're not seeing any of that stuff.
Look, take a page, like what Benji did. I mean, I don't know if were there a few, I'm sure I heard them say he debuted 4 players, but I must have been wrong. That must have been.
One of them scored 2 tries, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know that between 3 of them, they've only played 11 first grade games.
Didn't look like it.
Yeah.
Looked like they've been there for a while.
I'm the same, guys. I don't think we'll see a different lineup, to be honest, because I think he's, obviously a brilliant coach, and he wants what's that word? Fuck. Experienced players in key positions. Sadly, those experienced players made it look like they don't have any experience in those positions though on the weekend. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the only out we'll probably see is SJ out with his hammy, and I hope he's okay. And CHT back in. I'm fucking obviously Dylan's back. Depending on how if Barney doesn't play and he's all good, we'll see him back. We'll see Capewell back if he gets through Origin. Okay. So we
definitely miss Barney. He would have made a hell of a difference in the defensive line. But yeah.
And attack. Not only defensive and attack. He's basically been doing AFB's job this year that AFB was doing last year.
He's been pretty much our player of the season so far, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I doubt.
Yeah, bro.
It does pose a question for this weekend. Yeah, bro. Sorry.
No, I was going to make a joke. I was like, given that Walker plays second row and he's played every position, we might see him at prop this week.
Coach might just sit him down. Coach might sit him down and go, "Oh, I know you're injured and everything, mate, but we actually need you with the number 10 jersey on this weekend."
Yeah, right. I'll just chuck this out there. I found 2 silver linings. So my 2 silver linings. One was our fans. The fans that were despite witnessing a massacre, they were still chanting 5 minutes from full time. And it was just like, fucking good on yous, man. That's the one. Because the game was well over by half time, but they were still, and you could hear them at different times through the game. So they stuck it out. They stuck it out to them, and I fucking loved that. That's my first good point. The second good point, and it really doesn't count for much, but we scored a try with only 12 players.
Man,
so Roger was off and we scored, and I was like, we're scratching, bro. I'm scratching all that.
I had Timothy Martin down from my try scorer too.
Nice.
Just the rest of them didn't score tries, so I didn't win. But I had Timothy in there for a try scorer.
Well, that's our review, Whānau, of the Titans game. As painful as it was, I think it's actually helpful for us to come together and talk about the stuff. It shows that we care, shows that people watching are caring as well.
And have a laugh, still be able to have a laugh and
silver linings.
Yeah, bro.
Scored 1 try. That's a silver lining.
What are some of those comments, bro? Any good comments in there? Was everyone? If people already left?
Hey, listen to everybody at home. Thanks so much for sticking around. Tahi Bro says, no changes other than the logical. Mel says we lack speed, we lack youngsters. I think everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. You look at the back 5 of the Titans, you look at our back 5.
Yeah.
Very different. You look at the back 5 of the Brisbane Broncos coming up.
We knew this anyway, because I jump onto the Was Up TV, like I'm always watching their podcast as well. And I think
Was Up TV, by the way. Massive.
And mate, I'm sure all of us in there we're saying the same thing, that, mate, if anything's gonna get us, it's gonna be their speed, and you've got to account for. I mean, do you not, as a coach? I'm just, please, someone try and make it make sense. Do you not account for that when you're choosing your team list? Do you not think, well, hang on, I've got these 2 players here, though, in their 30s. Maybe I should, and we've got 19-year-old, 20-year-old Loffy, and do you not account for that? Do you not? Obviously not, because they play.
Keanu Kinney looks like a Tuopiki 2.0. No disrespect to Tuopiki. He hasn't had, because I think they used to play in the same team or play at the same, one for Burleigh Bears and one for someone else. But he's just had a little bit longer in the top grade than Tuopiki. Like, that's when I look at Keanu Kinney, I see a Tuopiki coming through. But I'm not quite sure, Tans. I'm not quite sure. Look, we're going to be up against some speedsters again in a couple of days.
What time's this game on Saturday? I'm just going to be all positive and sunshine.
Well, it brings us to some positivity of the night, and it's going to be the score predictions.
Can I just touch on the needing youngsters? I think definitely. We've talked about it too, is the need for speed in our team. But also I think it's the need for young enthusiasm. Like, we don't have any of the young boys chomping at the bits to get on that field. And I think not to say any of our players have taken their spot for granted, but it kind of just seems like just through watching them, there's a little bit of lack of enthusiasm, a little going through the motions. And I think when you have a young buck on there that's like, revving to go, you kind of have to be the mature one to say calm down, but also like, oh, I like this, let's get going too. So I think we miss a bit of enthusiasm. Oh, not a bit. We miss a lot of enthusiasm, and it showed in the weekend.
Yeah.
Like when I love when Tom Ale comes on, he injects a bit of that enthusiasm. He's not the biggest prop. He's not the biggest forward, Ale, but he just goes hard.
Gets stuck in.
Laban, he's in there with the tackles. He goes hard.
Yeah. Bro.
So anyway, big game, Fando. Massive game. It's a big game from here on out. Every weekend is a massive game from here on out. So we've got to win all these games. Got 9 games to go.
Yep.
And it starts this weekend.
So on the table, the Broncos are 7th and we're 13th. And I can't believe we're still in 13th after that. After the shellacking. By the skin of our teeth, bro.
We had to rely on other teams.
That's a small victory right there, Leo. I was like, oh my God, we're still I thought that was a small victory.
Your season's gone to crap when you're going, oh, I can't believe we're 13th. Because we could have easily been 15th right now, but obviously something else has happened and another team. Anyway. Score prediction. Oh my God.
Ooh.
Oh my God. A sellout 25,000.
Yeah.
They say it's sold out, but how many people will actually show up?
Yeah.
Good point.
Might be a few empty seats.
Yeah.
I think there might be a few Warriors tickets being sold sold online.
If anyone wants to buy them, that is,
The bandwagon crew's gone.
Oh, fuck, they're gone, bro.
They're
all about the fucking Blues now.
Yeah,
the Blues won. Yeah, always a Blues fan. Fuck.
Yeah, I reckon.
Score predictions. Okay, I'll go first. I reckon we're not going to win.
Hey,
I like the honesty, Tom.
What everyone's thinking. She just said what everyone's thinking.
I'm not.
Usually, no. Usually, I always back the boys. I only think there's probably been 1 or 2 times where I haven't. But going on this week's Saturday's performance, and see, it does depend on the team list because I don't know if the Origin stars are going to debut. But hey, look, we got beaten last year when they played the baby Broncos. So
yep, and Napier. Go on, hit us.
I don't think it'll be a bigger hiding as that one, but I'm thinking somewhere like 32-10 to the Broncos.
32-10 to the Broncos, right. So I'm going to go next, and I'm hoping for rain. You know why? Because if it's a dry track, we're done. We are absolutely skinned through our centers, around our team, through the middle, little pop over to man, pop over to anyone, gone, blistered. So it's going to piss down. And they're going to have to come play through the middle, and it's going to be a sloppy-ass game, and it's going to be 18-10 to the Warriors.
Nice.
I love that, Nick.
Come on, Tawhiri Matea. Let's go. We need you.
Not the calling on the Māori gods.
Rangi Nui, everyone.
Yeah.
Can I go next on the score predictions?
Come on, bro. Give it to us. Give it to us.
Sure.
So I'm going to go with pretty much everything that Nick has just said. However, I'm also going to add in there that the Blues are absolutely going to fuck up all the Queenslanders on Wednesday night. So the Broncos are going to be pretty battered and bruised and everything after that game. And the Warriors are going to win 28-22.
Let's go.
Woo! I love this. I love this.
There you go. You can change yours if you want to after everyone else's turns.
Yeah.
I did it against Penrith.
No, you can, Tons, right? Right. Keep the score. Change the team.
What about you?
I'm still here. Sorry.
Yeah, go try.
So yeah, logic would say
Yeah.
that we're losing, but I thought I'll do something funnier, and hopefully this all works out, because this is how I'm going to do it.
Are you going to spin the wheel?
I am going to spin the wheel.
Woo!
And see what I
See,
get.
it's all
And
blurry,
let
bro.
fate
Can I
decide,
buy it,
bro.
bro?
It's all
Is
blurry.
that an AI
Can I
one?
take out the
Gotta take off
it's
the blur.
not I'm gonna take off the blur. Where is this? Oh, there we go. There we go. Fine note. So
Oh, there we go.
we'll
Wheel
push
of
this one and
Fortune.
see where it goes, eh?
Nice, bro.
Bankrupt.
Oh, it's got a draw.
A draw.
Oh,
Yeah, that's still be all right.
How much, bro? What's the score?
Okay, we'll go 10-0. We'll go 10-0.
10-0. I will go for a draw. I'll be
Yeah, I'll be happy with the draw.
I'll be
Yeah.
sweet as with a draw.
It's funny you should say that, Ty, because I was actually thinking golden point.
I'll be happy.
Yeah.
With that too.
Yeah.
All right, Real, up to you, bro.
Yeah, bro. I'll go 32-31 Warriors.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. They'll need a
Yep.
holiday after that game, bro. They'll need to have a bye.
Yeah.
They'll need to have a bye after that
We're
game.
almost there, bro. We're almost there. 2 more weeks,
Jesus.
and then we got to buy.
Well, I never look forward to buys, but I'm actually
looking forward to the next one.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think we need it. I hope my score prediction's damn wrong. I hope it's actually switched. I hope actually we get the 32 and they get the 10.
That'd be nice.
That would be nice.
Nah, all
Yeah.
good.
You know, man,
32-10.
doesn't change the fact that I love them. I'm just saying that this trauma, past trauma, man.
30. So we've got 32-10 tons, 18-10 meat with some hailstorms and rain.
Nice.
28-22 Warriors for Damien, because all the Blues players, all the Queenslanders will be smashed from Origin.
Nice.
Tie with his 10-10 draw, like that'll be a horrible game to watch.
Bro.
But I'll still take it. I'll still take it.
Yeah.
And then
Might be
Real with-
entertaining, bro. Might be entertaining as.
Nah. It'll be sloppy as 20 heaps of mistakes. Maybe because of the rain. And then we got Real with the 32-31.
Yeah.
Far out.
Golden point, bro. Golden point.
I never thought about that, Nick, about rain, because then it will affect them. How do they usually play in it? I can't even remember.
They still win.
But yeah.
They still win in the rain.
Ooh.
I'm just
Yeah,
looking
we
for
do
any
get
little
some good inclusions
advantage.
back. We do get
Mm.
some golden inclusions back this week, so that's a good thing. And apart from that, I don't think we'll see
Much change.
any other changes. Even
Just
though we
imagine, though. Just imagine if Webby cleaned it out and just gave those
Mhm.
New South Cup boys, a shot and saying, "Yep, this is where we're at. We need you. You up for this or what?"
See what you can do, boys.
Yeah. Because
That'd
they've
be
already
fucking
proven
cool.
it once, twice, 3 times actually. So
Righto.
But imagine if Webby pulled that, it'd be like far out, bro. I'd be fired up for that. I'd get excited for that. See these young guys come in. But part of me is like logically, he'll stick to the tried and true kind of thing. Sadly, the truth for us is that it just hasn't been good. Yeah.
Do you guys remember years ago when, I can't remember who the coach was, when there were like 4 or 5 Warriors players that got dropped because they went out on the piss? I think it was Manu Vatuvei. I think one of them might have been Hatsa. Do you remember this?
It wasn't just
Yeah.
the piss, that was when they were doing the fucking energy drinks and
Energy drink,
fucking
yeah.
They
minerals and
went
shit
out
too.
and they got hundreds and they all got dropped. I think there was like 4 of them? And they all got dropped back to reserve grade?
Yeah,
So-
Bodine Thompson and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did we win that game? Does anyone know? Can anyone
Not too
remember?
sure on this.
Can't remember.
No,
But hey,
not
if
sure.
that coach made that decision to drop, like those, then brother, come on.
Yeah, I wonder when Webby kind of shows us that, it's on, like what you said, I think, Ty, on form, and not just you got experience, but come on, there's got to be some consequences.
Time to be ruthless.
Me too.
Yeah, consequences to not doing your job consistently, not just having a good game, but if it's consistently, there's got to be some sort of accountability.
Yeah.
But
and just carrying on there, because I think I posted a question in our chat, has Webby actually created a bit of fragility here, because the playing group says, they will respect him, but is he afraid to confront them and actually put them on the chopping block? It's a question.
I hope not. I hope not. I hope he's not this Mr. Nice Guy behind closed doors. But he is young, right? You still have to remember this is his second.
Yeah, he's got some learning to do too, right?
NRL season. He was up against Hasler with flipping, I don't know, 10 or how many seasons Hasler had?
About 36.
Something.
He's been around since the fucking
Thousands.
beginning of time.
Thousands.
Won't be too far off Wayne Bennett.
So he's still very young, I suppose, that we need to also realize he's got a huge ceiling on him. Hopefully he's going to be with us for a while, but
and his skin will have to harden over time, where he has to make. I mean, like all coaches, they have to make those decisions, where it's
he's
like
got no grey hairs at the moment.
Yeah, well,
he's still looking pretty fresh faced.
Yeah, but even he that having that scoreline next to your name as the coach, it's kind of like, damn, that's quite condemning.
But
so how he bounces back. Yeah.
He owned it on the first end. It's like, if I had to choose today a team from 1 to 17, I wouldn't have a team. So I hope he remembers those words that he said. I hope he remembers that he said that and fucking, because obviously he'll be choosing, like, brother, remember what you said. If you had to choose on that day, you're 1 to 17, you probably wouldn't have a team to play this week. So remember what you said and fucking, like, they have a good
Did he have his poker face on though? Because he's you
could, mate. Like, fuck, I know who I'd drop. But
everybody.
Team will be going with you, Tons. Nah, I don't know. It's gonna be a huge game. I mean, we say this every Monday. I don't even know why we're gonna say anything different. That there's gonna be a huge game every single weekend, but this is a huge game. We need to just bury what happened, move on, get back to basics, man. Like you said, or like you say as well, Tons, right? Just want to see a good defensive effort.
bro.
We've come close to a 90, close to an 80-minute performance. We've come close to one. We've only had really one close one this year. I think that was against the Dolphins. I think that might have been our only close 80-minute kind of performance. But man, Broncos will just be coming here just for blood. They'll just copy and paste what flipping Titans did and just do it better.
I mean, and you can also look at it. So if Queensland win this Origin, they're going to come back pumped. You got Harrigan and Haas and fucking all the rest of them. Yep. They'll probably come back, feeling like the king of the castle because they've pretty much just won another Origin series. So,
well, Haas won't if it was Queensland.
Yeah. So hopefully,
But anyway, it's a mammoth task.
It is.
I would say that I'm looking forward to Teamless Tuesday, but I'm not.
No, neither.
Looking forward to kick off.
I am. Looking forward to it, bro.
It'll be interesting.
I love your positivity, Dale. You're always just...
it's got to keep the faith.
Before we kick off, like whatever happens on that day, I don't care actually who's on now. I actually don't care who's on the field. I just want them to back each other and play well.
Yeah. Bro. Yeah, absolutely.
Inject some more of that positivity and mana back into their jersey because it was completely smashed on the weekend.
Yeah.
I think you know, there's certain players that will step up. I think Chand will step right up. I think, you know, I can see him having a great game this weekend. I can just see him because he, you know, that guy's just that extra guy that just always does the extras. I mean, his stats always speak for himself. So, I expect a big game from him, and just to pump up his team, pump up his bros, and just, you know, get them going.
Heart and soul of the team. Chance, you know, just
100%. And players like Jazzy as well. I think he's a huge, you know, like whether or not he might not be the best footy player, but he's definitely got a huge heart, and you see that in him every game. And it's just those effort areas on and off the field, that are going to change, that, you know, will make things happen.
No, like I said, a colossal game, huge one. Just want to say to everyone that stuck with us on the live, big ups to all you guys.
Man. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Bring on Teamless Tuesday.
All right.
We've been Warriors Fan TV for Monday Night Kōrero, and I'll see you guys. Next week. Next week when we talk about the dub.
All right. That's right, bro.
Yes. Manifest
That's exactly right.
Manifest it. Up the Wars.
Yeah.
Go the fucking Warriors.
Up the Warriors.
Go the fucking Warriors. Yeah, bro.
Kia ora whanau.
No, all good.
All day, baby. Peace.
All right. Sure. Huggy, bro.
Huggy.
Awesome. Thank you.